welcome and thank you so much for joining me, Alyssa Arundell, for your 2021 tarot card reading. I cannot believe we're in 2021. For this year, what we're going to do is pull 12 cards, and these 12 cards are going to symbolize each month of the year for your specific zodiac sign. In the middle of this spread is going to be what's called a significator card. So this is a card that is a running theme throughout your year, and then as each month comes up, we're going to compare this card to the card that you pulled for that specific month. So I hope that that makes sense. I will also be leaving timestamps beneath this video so that you can refer back to each month as you go throughout your year. So all you need to do is save this video in your favorites or something, and then you can refer back to that. Before we dive into this year's reading, I'd also just like to thank you for joining us for our daily show. Thank you for joining me for these monthly videos. It really does mean a lot to me. If you would like to check out your free 3-card tarot spread, you could do that by clicking on the link beneath this video. It's completely free. And if you would like to reach out to myself for a live one-to-one consultation, I'd be more than happy to work with you and to serve you in whatever way I can. But without further ado, let's get into this year's reading.
Hello Pisces, and thank you so much for joining me for your 2021 tarot card reading. Let's see what your significator card for this year is, Pisces. So the card is a major arcana card, and it is the Emperor. It's number 4 on the Fool's journey. The Fool starts at 0, and then this is the sort of the 4th pit stop. This card can represent male role models or figures in our lives. So it could be a father, could be an uncle, could be a partner or friend or brother. But if it's not a person, this card generally represents getting organized, getting structured, getting disciplined within your life. This is about sorting through things you no longer need. You have got to do that decluttering this year if there's more to go through. Some of you may well be on your way of doing that, and some of you may just be natural at doing that. For others of you, though, it's things that you may have been putting off. So this is getting organized with paperwork, with anything to do with your finances, anything to do with your health, writing a detailed plan for the year and sticking to it, because what this is going to do is really transform your year. You're giving yourself this opportunity to make it an incredible life for yourself, Pisces. So this is the main energy that is going on in your year as we see it. Now, as we move into January, Pisces, this card seems to want to come out. You have the King of Pentacles. The King of Pentacles is very concerned with finance, is very concerned with anything to do with just keeping his house in order. He's a very good person to turn to if you want some help with your finance. So this could represent somebody in your life who could offer you some kind of assistance. But he can also represent governmental bodies, your bank, anything that's going to help you get on track or help you with any investments that you're making. And because you have this Emperor here as well, I definitely feel getting your finances in order is something that's going to be very important to you this year, Pisces. But the first thing you have to do is get clear about exactly where you are, and that might be difficult because that can be a difficult task for many of us to sort of get clear in our minds where we are at. And it can be a hard thing to face sometimes, particularly if our finances are not looking in good shape. But the first step of making and creating that abundance, in my opinion, is to get straight about where you are currently. Now, as we move into February, the card that comes up is the Lovers. So for those of you that are single, it could be that you find the flutterings of something new happening. And for those of you already in a relationship, I feel like the commitment is really deepening. And if there has been a time of miscommunication, not really getting where each other are coming from, I think there is a huge chance for reconciliation in February. This card originally was known as the Choice card in tarot. It wasn't called the Lovers, it was called Choice. And so there could be a few choices that you have to make. Generally, these choices are between things that we love. So it could be something as simple as, I want to get in shape, but I love chocolate. I love to be fit, but I love chocolate. So it's making that choice between, well, what is it you want? Do you want to get fit, or do you want to carry on with the chocolate? That's at its sort of smaller scale. On a bigger scale, it could be to do with two places that you want to live, two lovers that you're interested in. So just weighing things up again in February in terms of things that are important to you in your life, Pisces. Now, as we move into March, we have the Page of Swords. This can sometimes represent a youth, because court cards, which are the cards that are people, can generally represent people that we know. So if it is someone you know, they could be an air sign, because swords are air. They also are likely to be younger, and if this is the case, it could be a young person that comes to you for some help, or tells you a secret, or perhaps you become a mentor to them in some way. And I think that'll be a really lovely process for you to be that guide, because you have this Emperor energy. Maybe you're a father figure to them, whether you're male or female. Maybe you do take somebody on under your wing. This could be someone that you work with or something like that. Be patient with them. They've got a lot to learn still. However, this can also represent a situation where you are slicing through any lies. You're getting to the truth of a matter, excuse me. This can also mean that if you have to sign any documents, I would make sure that you read them through very carefully, because this is like going through things with a fine tooth comb, yeah? It's not about rushing in. So anything you've got to sign, please just read it through properly. And if you don't understand something that's written there, please get a professional to look over it for you. Now, as we move into April, Pisces, another page, this time the Page of Pentacles. So this, if we're talking about a person, could represent somebody who is an earth sign. The page is somebody who is not massively on point with their finances, can be a little bit immature at times. However, they've got a lot to learn, and they're really willing to learn. It's the willingness that is important. We don't always have to have all the knowledge. If we're at least open to discovering new things, that's the main thing, surely. And so I do think that you could find yourself wanting to just give back a little bit to yourself in April, wanting to spoil yourself a little bit. And if you feel you can do that without sort of breaking the bank, then maybe it is something that's going to keep you motivated to sorting out different things in your life. So give yourself a little treat, but don't go too wild in April. Now, as we move into May, we have the Queen of Cups. Now, the Queen of Cups is somebody who is very maternal, very nurturing, someone you can really rely on. And I think that this is a beautiful card to come up here for you, because May time, if we think about it, you're sort of a quarter of the way through the year now, and it has been very much about this structure, order, making choices, reading documents, getting your finances in check. And it's been quite masculine, but in the very logical sense of that masculine energy. Whereas I feel like in May time, this more nurturing sense comes in. Again, it's a court card. So I think people are going to be very important to you this year, Pisces. It's not a year about going it alone. And if it is a person, it generally is a female who is a water sign, that could give you that nurturing and healing that you want. Perhaps somebody like this has been on your mind. Maybe it was a partner or your mother or your sister or something like that. So maybe they are just on your mind in May. But I just think giving back to you, spending some time near water, taking baths or showers with, salts and healing, just allow more of that feminine energy to come through in May, because you will need a bit of a break from this very heavy thought processes that are going on. Now, as we move into June, Pisces, we have the Two of Cups. I do think that some of you are going to make a decision or meet somebody new. you know, you had this crop up for you in February. Now come June, I think some of you could see yourselves getting engaged or maybe even married. Some of you may be moving home. But this is about partnership and coming together. I think it's the card that makes me most happy in tarot. There are many cards that I love for different reasons, but the Two of Cups is just a coming together, a unitedness of emotions. And if this isn't, you know, with another person, this is two halves of yourself coming together. You know, I love it so much that I got it tattooed on myself, because the Two of Cups is just, it's harmony, it's peace, it's tranquility, but it's not boring. You know, we hear those words sometimes, and I'm a Sagittarius energy, so I sometimes think, oh, it's a bit boring. But actually, you know, this isn't boring. This is complete clarity about who you are and what you want in your life and what you're going to achieve in your life. So I think that this could be really just a wonderful month for realizing the people that are important to you, and the situations that are important to you. Now, as we move into July, Pisces, the card that comes up for you is the Fool. So you're starting on a brand new journey. So sometimes people get confused, because it's like, if we talk about the Fool's journey, he starts at 0, then you've got to card 4, and then, you know, you move into 6 here, and the Fool's journey isn't always just a straight 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know, it doesn't, because it doesn't just go like that. So sometimes, you know, you go back to the beginning, a bit like snakes and ladders. But it's no problem, because the Fool is starting something new. You do have this little dog, which is representative of your conscience. It can also be a metaphor for your fears, anxieties. Because the dog is like, don't go, don't jump off. Where you going? Stay at home. Stay where it's safe. And the Fool is like, no, my friend, you know, I'm on my way for a new adventure. And you have the resources that you can manage. You know, you don't know exactly what you need, but it doesn't really matter. It is literally the journey. It's the taking part that counts when this card comes up. So July, something, you know, some of you might be traveling as well. Brand new beginnings for you, new jobs, new ideas. Now, as we move into August, you have the Devil. So some bad habits could creep up into your situation, Pisces. These could be things that you thought you dealt with. They can also be things that you're sort of relying upon. They don't always have to, you know, it can be as extreme as a substance abuse addiction that you've overcome, and then you might be tempted again in August. But for some of you, it's not going to be like that. It's more like you promised yourself you were going to sort out your finances or your items in your home, or whatever it was you promised yourself at the start of the year. You promised yourself that you were going to get organized. And then August, it's sort of like you put a lot of work in, and now you're becoming apathetic, or you just can't see the end to what it is you're trying to achieve. There's an element of wanting to give up and just go back to what is known, but maybe what is known is toxic. So in August, just second guess yourself. Just ask yourself, is it really what I want to go backwards? I've come a long way. Why don't I just keep traveling on the path that feels right to me, and not let these outside influences tempt you into destructive patterns or bad habits, anything like that. So now in September, well, I think this is fantastic, because it's like, I think another sign pulled the Devil, and I said it was almost like the temptation of Christ when he goes into the desert and the devil's like, do this, I'll give you this. And he resists, and then ultimately he becomes the Six of Wands, you know, being adored and being praised. And this is something that can really come up for you in September. This is about rewards, awards, being noticed, being recognized for your hard work, particularly within your workplace, or any kind of social structure. This can be some very public recognition on social media or within your local news. So that could give you a real boost. Just being recognized for any good deed that you have done or any hard work that you put in. Now, as we move into October, Pisces, this is the news you've been waiting for, the 10 of Pentacles. Money's going to come in, or at least the idea of knowing how to get it. This is you getting straight in all areas of your life. Gosh, guys, I'm so proud. If this is the route that you follow this year, all that effort and that structure that you put in at the start of the year, and those leaps of faith that you've taken, and being open to the prospect of new love, and you're letting other people come in and help you, which might be something that you're not used to. Maybe you go it alone a lot of the time. But look what happens here. You're rewarded not only with money in October, but also with just pats on the back, verbal recognition in September. So that is well worth hanging out for, like waiting out for, So all this hard work is, what I'm saying is, it will pay off. Now, as we move into October, the Ace of Swords. This is brilliant. The Ace of Swords is air, so it's thought. This is brand new ideas, anything to do with business, technology, anything where you're using your mind is likely to just be brilliant. If you have felt like you've been suffering with some kind of anxiety or not having the clarity of where you're supposed to be going, then come November, things become so much clearer for you. You're cutting through that fog and that mist. Now, the swords, the Ace of Swords generally says to us that you've had a tough beginning in some ways. Your life hasn't been an easy journey, but actually you've carried on working at yourself, working at situations. This is a year of accountability. Face up to your fears, face up to the truth of who you are, and look at the rewards that come in. Now in December, so we go to the very end of the year and we end it with the King of Cups. I feel that you might be feeling settled in some kind of new relationship come December, or maybe even the relationship with yourself. And I'm sorry if that sounds cliche, but the King of Cups is somebody who's very fair. But another court card. This represents people. So if it's a person, it's likely to be a male who could possibly be a water sign. And the attributes of this person is that they are kind, they are caring, they are genuine, they have massive integrity, they mean what they say and they say what they do. And generally this person can be trusted. So this is going to be definitely a year, because look at all those court cards. The guy here that's going to help you out with your finances. So it could be a governing body, some kind of thing like that. Then you've got the youth here who you're, helping out. Then you've got this guy here who represents you just, giving yourself a few treats because you worked hard, but don't go too wild. Then you've got some nurturing coming up here from somebody. Then you start out on your new life. You're feeling positive. You are going to have this temptation, but I think if you resist it, and I even if you don't resist it, I'm not saying that these good things won't happen, but I just think you'll feel more good about yourself if you can resist it, and then you get the rewards towards the end of the year. But the majority of your year is this structure, order and discipline. So I'm really, really pleased and proud of you, Pisces, because you're the last in the circle, but you're definitely not the least. And I think there is many things to look forward to this year. If you just stay focused, keep your eye on the prize, and you'll be fine.
So there you have your 2021 tarot card reading. Thank you again for joining me. It really does mean a lot, especially those of you that join me month to month. You've been with me since I started doing this on Patrick's channel, so I'm really, really honoured to share this time and space with you. If you haven't checked out our daily show, I'd really love you to come along for that ride as well, because it's so much fun and we love being with you every single day. And it's just an honour to have that, really. So I hope that this spread has given you some idea of what you could potentially expect energetically this year. I just want to wish you a peaceful new year. I really hope that you are safe wherever you are in the world, and that you your families, friends, those that matter to you are also safe. I'm sending you lots of love for this new year, and I really hope that things pan out in a way that is beneficial for all of us on the planet. So until we speak again in January, take care, stay safe, and speak again very soon. Alyssa.